Hey guys, this morning I took a look at this pull request here, which basically refactors the DMD CLI, or there is no DMD GUI, so I don't know why you'd say DMD CLI, just the DMD driver maybe. And it contains this capitalization function. And I thought, well, yeah, that doesn't look like it would be too fast because it uses phobos, right? So I've prepared a little benchmark to test the speed of the capitalization function. We should note that this function is used in only one place. It is used to capitalize the description in the generate feature usage, and this is the last string that goes in here. So it'll generate feature usage. There we go. And this is used here, for example, so it capitalizes the language and language transitions, revertible and revertible changes, and upcoming language changes. Now, you could ask the question whether you couldn't just capitalize this in the text itself, since it doesn't seem to be. What do I do here? I have to refactor that next. Since it doesn't seem to be often, since it doesn't seem to be changed often. But first, let's see why I think that way. So I have this little teeny tiny benchmark here where we use this to capitalize a string. And if it's true, we use this version that I wrote myself. And if the static is false, we use the capitalization that phobos uses. So let's compile this and time how long this takes to compile. Okay, no property cap. So if it's an error, it takes 11 milliseconds. We can have that as a baseline. The thing is that we want this to say capitalize. Now it should work. And this still takes 11 milliseconds. So this is just as if we wouldn't do anything. Just aborting takes about the same time as this. Now, when I set the static if to false, you will see how long the capitalization function takes that the DMD CLI currently uses to compile. Whoops, about 300 milliseconds, which is like what? 12 divided by 350 divided by 1. No, wrong. 1 divided by that should give us how many times this is slower. And this is 29 times slower than just doing that. So yeah, this function can compile 29 times faster when you don't use phobos. And now the question is, well, is it importing the modules that takes so much time? Because there was a threat in the D-Lang forums where the creator of the language proposed to use some kind of archival format for source code files in order to cut down the load times for phobos essentially, and I have a little helper tool which shows me which templates are getting instantiated and stuff. So let's first see again with my handwritten version how long it would take, or rather what template it instantiates. You can use the normal DMD, it has the feature now. And this generates a file cat.d.cg which contains the expanded version. So you can see there is an import object edit, although it isn't needed. The things here are inferred, the attributes are inferred, and yeah, it basically shows you the code just as it is. There is nothing added except for this import object. Now let's do the same thing, setting this to false, causing it to use the phobos function. And we see we have 16,000 lines. There is indeed the UFCS stuff is being expanded into usable calls. The default arguments are expanded, and then we see what else gets used. So we have a generated op equals, we have all those range functions. For some reason we ask if a function is callable or if it's some function, and all of these templates do get instantiated. The decoding templates do get instantiated. The whole UTF Unicodes tables get pulled in here, and all those templates here are getting instantiated. For some reason we even use the bit fields. This create fields here is part of the bit fields template. Don't ask me why this is being used. We use format in here, which just generates a bunch of code, and this is why it takes 300 milliseconds to compile. So yeah, I will now do a pull request to DMD to at least get rid of this usage of phobos, and yeah, let's see if that gets taken or not. So again, to reiterate this, the compile time for just this little function here increases by a factor of 29 because of the template instantiation and stuff. So that's it. See you later.